Well, hi everyone. Welcome to our April WVD community user group for Australia and New Zealand. So welcome everyone to our today's virtual session. So my name is Zane and I'll be your host for today. And let's then get right into it. Let's go through the opening and take it from there. So that's today's slide is for today's agenda, and actually let me just turn my video off to maximize the screen for you guys. Okay, so that's today's agenda. We've got opening just now, then we'll have WVD news by Philip, and then at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times, we'll have Scott Seddon presenting easy printing in WVD with Ezeep. So that's our opening slides. So session keeping during the presentations is best if you guys keep your videos and sound turned off. To interact, just use a chat bubble in the upper right corner. And for presenters, it's probably also a good idea to turn a video off, but it really is up to you which way you prefer. And the session is fast-paced, it's recorded. We'll have a recording on our YouTube channel fairly soon after. All right, so that's our agenda, and so pretty full-on session today with content, good content, and awesome presenters. And at 7:30 is our official part will end, and we'll have a post-event Q&A. We'll be continuing. You guys, I mean, everyone can enable video, audio. Feel free if you would like to participate in an open floor discussion. You're more than welcome to. Okay, so about myself, over 20 years in IT, cloud VDI advocate, currently technical MD at Ezeep ThinPrint Australia, which is Kakano Group, and also hosting the ANZ WVD user group, as well as a few other communities on LinkedIn, and my contact details are there. So the history of the WVD community, it was founded in March 2020, so that's how fast that time flies. It's been more than a year now. And so we've got 14 plus user groups worldwide right now. So Neil, Stefan, and Patrick are the original founders of the community. And next slide will show you that's the website itself. You can actually visit the website as well for blog posts and newsletters and things as that such. So what to expect? So we'll be meeting once a month, presenting latest news and hot topics and various technologies related to WVD, and recordings will be on YouTube. Please, if you feel that you have something you would like to contribute, just simply reach out to us, and we can, we'll see how we can accommodate your content as well. All right, so just opening notes, opening updates. We've got the WVD Tech Fest coming up in November this year, so that's the second round, and registrations are filling up pretty fast. So feel free to hop on and register there as well. Right, so the URL is wvdtechfest.com. So you'll find all the details there. It's a fairly technical event, all the technical presentations and various WVD partners, ecosystems presenting. So it's a really deep dive there on the technical side. Just a quick update on Ezeep Blue Cloud printing. So during last month, there was a new print app beta version available now for Mac OS. Item 2, we've got drivers, over 200 drivers now in a library, in a cloud rendering library. And yeah, point 3, a new connector was released as well for print server. And that's about it from me. I will then see if Philip is ready for the WVD news.
Thanks, Zane. Yeah, I am ready.
Already.
Very short segment from myself. I'm not sure with GoToMeeting, with that screen sharing option. I think you have to enable it for me. Yep.
Yeah, I already handed it over to you, Philip. So yeah, take it away. So it's all yours now.
Thank you. I'm always struggling with GoToMeeting. I'm sorry. It's not, that much used. I don't know, not as widely probably, unlike Zoom and Teams. Not going to spend too much time. Don't want to stand between attendees and the actual payload, which I think is an interesting topic. I do get questions as a solution architect for the partners regarding the printing, and I think Ezeep is quite a good answer, or holds quite a lot of answers to those questions that partners come up with related to the printing. For me, the highlights of the months since the last session was held is that MSIX app attach is now generally available, fully supported. You can go and implement it in production. I think this is pretty amazing. It's a big deal for WVD. If you've heard any of my sessions, I'm a strong advocate of image-based management, and now with MSIX app attach, with that application layering, we can call it that way, I reckon. We can avoid complexity and large number of images to manage. And with additional tooling, and you're probably already aware of WVD admin by Marcel Murer from Cipago, you can easily embrace the image-based management, which is on par or does 90% of what paid solutions out there will suggest you to do and to use. With MSIX app attach, it's brilliant because you can keep a number of images to a minimum and layer necessary applications on top of the baseline. Microsoft Friends released a required URL check tool. It was useful for me in one of the customer cases where customer wanted a tight lockdown, so they had UDR rules for the traffic to go through Azure Firewall. However, to ensure full WVD functionality, we had to do proper rules and filtering to make sure that service-related traffic would traverse as required. And now that we required URL check tool is the very easy way to make sure the rules you've put in place, if you firewall in traffic, if you do an internet filtering on your session host for your user sessions, it's a very easy way to check, right? Start VM on Connect. I think it's an interesting feature to explore, especially for those occasions where you do single session one-to-one VDI. I think it's a brilliant feature to explore, and now it's being kind of a part of the offering. An official preview makes it even more valuable, in my opinion. I'm not sure if you have. Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dirk has a question about it just now, actually. Well, whether this will be available in multi-user version of WVD.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because the question may be, do you want it to be available in multi-user version of WVD, right? And how would you do it? To be honest, my advice so far to the partners dealing with end customers was, if you do any scheduling with multi-session, probably the best bet is to do actually that scheduling, right? Where the machines would be ready to accept user sessions at the start of the nominated business hours. With this VM on Connect, there is no kind of commitment, if you like, or ETA for the VM start time. Okay, and that may be a bit of a test and decide for yourself option. So on this stage, my recommendation, definitely explore it for single session, multi-session maybe, but I'm not confident enough to recommend it myself. I don't know if it answers the question, but that's my opinion on that option. on the, as it stands today. I have to say that, a bit of a caveat. All right, updates on Azure portal. Look, I think Microsoft friends did a great job aiding more consistently improving the service, right? The fact that you have additional options to create host pools and kind of spread workloads and availability zones. There's some small fixes that also included in there. The way if you use Azure portal for active sessions display, I think the view is improved. Like there are sorting options and easier to find if you have you know, a lot of users to go through and find the session of interest. Message sending, messaging users is easier as well, so you can go to a host detail tab and actually sign out a specific user. I'm trying to recall what else was there that was kind of as an addition. And yeah, latest Windows 10 image. Latest Windows 10 image for personal host pool is now also possible. Right, so those are the major updates or highlights in the Azure portal user interface for Windows Virtual Desktop. They're all nice, they all helping, right? But for me, to be honest, so far the tool of choice is still going to WVD admin by Marcel Murer. If you haven't explored that tool, I strongly encourage you to do it. It's free. I'm not affiliated with Sepago in any way, and there is no you know, commercial side to it on this stage. All right, I am posting the links to the updates I've just covered in a chat window, so you can easily go and check them yourselves. And as always, there is official summary, what's new in Windows Virtual Desktop. It's that Microsoft Docs link that you see as the last link in the list. On my end, or if I can do a bit of a short promotion, we are expecting very exciting product to be released on the market for our partners, where WVD would be fully productized. If you're interested in that, please get in touch. The idea is you would be able to sell WVD seats as easily as you sell Office 365 and 365 licensing these days. You won't have to build anything, you won't have to support it. You can be a partner without in-depth technical expertise, and you would still be able to facilitate and cover requirements from your end customers with the product. That's all from me. If you have any questions, technical, semi-technical nature, I'm all yours. Right now, if you like, at the end of a session, please contact me directly if you feel that would be a better option. Always open, always happy to help where I can and share a bit of field experience that I was fortunate enough to have with multiple partners and multiple deployments.
Thank you, Philip. We've got a still Q&A here, I suppose, and I see our friends from Microsoft are here as well. I'm not sure if Roel can add anything at all in relation to any of the news and developments now, what's happening at Microsoft. And yeah, I would like to welcome Luke as well. Luke, would be actually interesting to see where everyone is coming from, I suppose. Let me just put my camera on. So we've got a few more Q&As here. So Dirk, were your questions fully answered, what you were asking there?
I think what Philip answered was the way it can be done now through scheduling. But from my point of view, scheduling is a simple bypass which does not solve the effective problem that you might have. Typically, in a schedule, you would say from Monday to Friday, I will spin up X amount of WVDs. Great, but if there is a public holiday, for example, you have to change your schedule.
There is an option to have triggers in terms of CPU utilization or number of sessions per WVD session host. So you can set the limits on how many sessions you want to hold per session host with that depth first load balancing approach. You can also set kind of CPU utilization thresholds where additional session host would be spun up to host new sessions. You can do all of that. It's not necessary to do just scheduling. If you're thinking about being more dynamic, there are ways to do it, absolutely.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you could combine that with the start of the first session host, you have a, if I dare to say, an ideal situation.
Yeah, and if I may share one thing, let me try and share one thing, and this is something that is not always very well covered, and you tell me, you know, if this is of interest as well. I will try and share my screen one more time, Zane, if I can.
Sure, yeah, it's still with you.
Great. So let me. I hope it's the right screen.
That's good.
So this is the Azure calculator, right?
Yeah.
And I have picked, hope you guys can see it well. I have picked Windows Virtual Desktop, right? Let me do something kind of more realistic. Let's do 200 users. I said, okay, my peak concurrency is 1, so up to 200 users. And I'm seeing, and of course it depends on the customer. Of course, you know, this number can fluctuate somewhere between 10 and 20%. But let me do 20. Let me be a bit more sort of conservative with this number. So what I mean by off-peak concurrency is people who actually need to use environment after hours, who work on weekends, quite often some leadership, quite often, depends on the business, but let's assume 20% of peak concurrency. Yep. In terms of usage hours, in Australia, quite often what we see is 7 to 7 sort of threshold in which people will contribute their 8 hours plus, right? So someone starts 7 a.m. and finishes at 4, like myself. I'm trying to do that, and some people finish at 7 p.m. More or less on schedule, right? So I'm saying about 260 official business hours usage, right? And if we're not talking about dynamic scheduling, what you're trying to explore, if we're talking about simpler scheduling, turn on my session hosts at 7 a.m. and turn off at 7 p.m. And I picked multi-session here, I picked medium workload type, and I said, okay, run-of-the-mill D8 AS series, AMD CPU based. Let me put pay as you go. What calculator tells me is that I will need to run 2 instances 24/7, right, to cater for that 20% of peak concurrency. And I will need 5 more instances to cover my business hours. So total 7 instances, 2 of them run 24/7 and 5 more run 260 hours. So this is basic scheduling, right? I'm saving money, right? I'm shutting down the resources. And see, my compute in this case is 1,800 Australian dollars, let's say. What happens if I will reserve compute? How much more will I be paying? It's less than $200 difference. Let's calculate again. 818, 987. So it's $170 difference for 200 users. So we're talking about less than $1 a month savings if you're comparing scheduling with reservation. And you know better than I do now, if you do scheduling, you have to drain those session hosts from users. At 7 p.m., your user base will receive a message, please log off. You can log back in. Yes, we have a couple of machines running 24/7. You can log back in. Yeah, there is capacity for those 20% of people who are staying back after 7 p.m. Or need to work on weekend. But you will have to log off. You will be prompted. If something goes wrong with the scheduling, hopefully not. Like you said, you can end up with machines running over public holidays, over the weekends, etc., and they will rack up actually more consumption, and those savings would be next to zero. So my suggestion, based on a customer, check what are the real savings with you going through the hassle of dynamic scheduling or scheduling on time. How much you actually saving? Yes, large environment. You will tell me, hey Phil, I'm actually running 5,000 user environment, right? yeah, the savings would be of such a significance that it definitely worthwhile to invest time and effort to build this well, to monitor this well, and save money. For smaller deployments, quite often what we're recommending is to go down the reservation route. I hope this helps.
Yeah, I agree. You have to look at it from each situation is different. I totally agree with that. I mean, but even in your example with 200 users, I would put it like the 12th month is for free. If you're going for the dynamic scheduling, opposed to the reservation, even in that situation with just 200 users, your 12th month is for free. So it's still, from a customer point of view, a way to reduce costs.
So, okay, the question, I don't know what your time is worth. In Australia, people are so expensive. You know, if my consultant or engineer who is doing the deployment or the MSP who's going to be looking after this environment will have to spend time on scheduling, they're not going to save you that $170 a month, less than $1 per user per month for this particular example, right? Less than $1 per user per month. In Australia, quite often, that saving will not be worthwhile to have additional implementation effort and to have additional you need to look after this functionality effort. That's what I'm trying to say. It's total cost of ownership, if you know, like total economic impact. If you will. Yep.
I see what you mean, but again, the initial installation of it, the initial configuration of it, if we can combine that with the start when there is a first user, that's capex, while the rest is opex. So that's also something that customers are looking at. So, but again, I agree with what you're saying, but it stays on the level of it will depend on each situation, and having more options can give us an option to do more for the customer.
Very important point. You mentioned reservation as capex. No, it's not. Reservations are monthly.
No.
Prepayment required.
I was saying installing and configuration.
Yep.
Configuring that initial scheduling, that's the work that is done in the start of the project, that is often seen as capex.
Yep.
While if we can add a little in the capex, the work that somebody does, but then in the opex we can save, even it's just $100 a month, in 5 years, that's enough money to say, okay, we have saved that money in the opex. I was not saying that reservations is capex, no. I was talking about the installation costs.
I'm with you. I think our Microsoft friends will chip in and say, hey guys, in 1 year's time, this discussion is irrelevant because the scheduling would be so brilliant that you don't need to worry about it. It would be brilliant. It would be available for free and easy to set up and look after.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you, Philip and Derek. We had an update here from Royal from Microsoft here in chat. Not sure if guys are probably not able to turn the audio on. Yeah, so Royal and Luke, they're confirming that start of VM on Connect for pooled scenarios is coming up soon.
Great news.
Yeah.
And the auto scaling that I see is also great news.
Yeah.
While we're at it, Roel, can you have a way to migrate sessions from one host to the other? That way we can easily shut down hosts?
That is the golden grail in
VDI. Yeah, I know. I know. Just asking, I mean, while you're saying that things are coming, so maybe that you had something on your sleeve with that too.
Yeah, no, that's not something that I have seen being possible, but never say that something is impossible. We are looking at it. I don't know when. I haven't seen that being worked on, and I'm not seeing this currently in any of the plannings that we are working on. Right. For the people who don't know me, I'm Roel Schellens. I work for the product group WVD, and I represent the Asia Pacific region. So I work closely with customers to identify gaps in our product and make sure that those are captured and being included in our planning for each of the iterations of the sprints, as we call them, every half year.
Nice. Thank you, Rael, for the introduction as well. And I suppose these kind of use cases that are coming up, like in our community and other communities around the world, I suppose it's probably something that you would like to maybe know about as well, and as in features for the future, perhaps development, things like that. Rael, so perhaps.
Yeah, I can definitely talk about what is publicly announced. There is a lot that is not publicly announced. So we just finished our planning for the next sprint, which starts on the 1st of July, or we are in the process of finishing that. Those things are still so fluid. It's not something we talk about until they have been more put in stone. So that everything that is being worked on is published in our public roadmap, which can be found on the website. Everyone knows where to find that, I assume.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Thanks for the update there, Rael. And
but more than happy to talk about any of the features, or if there are any questions on the product in relation to what we are working on.
Sure. Okay, and MSIX, it's now in GA, right? Generally available. Did anyone in the group here today have any questions about MSIX? Perhaps because that's the right time probably to ask it now for this Q&A.
Yeah, we were just talking about auto scale. One of the other reasons why customers need this is for maintenance. So they want to replace images, etc. So that is one of the other reasons why they want to scale their session host back or completely shut them all down to replace the images with new ones. So those type of things are being thought of when we think about future iterations of that. So initially you won't see that, but that's something that's definitely coming as well in the future robot. But just in relation to the discussion that was happening earlier, it's definitely something that is another reason to basically shut devices down in an automated way.
Excellent. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rael and Luke, for your contribution here today, for the answers and updates on the roadmap, where we're at. So, no, that's really appreciated. And thank you for supporting our user group as well.
Yeah. But if there are any questions about MSIX Appetite or anything. So the file system that we are going to recommend hasn't been released yet. So currently we support VHDX, VHD, which works fine, but it still is one write that we don't need for MSIX. So SimFS, which is our future recommended file system that we, or container, I should say, for MSIX Appetite, which you can already use and test with, and people have already started creating tools for this. But that is coming as well very soon. But basically, that is a read-only container, meaning it is much more optimized for MSIX Appetite.
Okay. Excellent. That's great. Yeah, thank you for that, Rael. And just a quick update there. I saw that you guys are hiring there. So for anyone interested, I suppose there is a role, I think, program manager in your area as well, which we can probably post and share.
Things are really taking off at the moment, especially at larger customers, which is what we closely work with. So if we look at our telemetry information and the numbers, it's going up really steep now, and this is probably also because of the age of WVD. We are starting to mature a bit more, and enterprise customers obviously need some longer lead way to get their planning and designs, etc., ready to get this all sorted out and approved in their organization, because it's a very, very new concept as what they are used to, where in the past, especially with VDI solutions, they were most of the time on-prem. This is in the cloud and requires users to connect from other locations, and that's conceptually new to many of these customers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all cloud these days. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rael, once again for these updates. We'll move on to the next segment then, guys, of our today's session. So we will move over to Scott. I wonder if Scott is ready. I'll just hand over. All right, Scott, I gave you the presenter permissions now, so hopefully, yep, we can see your slide as well. But we can't hear you yet, so.
Hi, Zane.
Oh, yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
yes.
hi.
Yes, we can now. So thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning from the UK. I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak to the Australian community. I've not had the chance to do that yet. So thank you, Zane. I appreciate that very much. So today I'll try and be as quick as I can, go through a couple of slides. I don't want to do any death by PowerPoint. I want to get really into the demo and show you Ezeep cloud printing by ThinPrint, so you can have a real good look. Any Q&As we can do at the end, but if there's anything that's particularly pertinent at the time, please just ask me. I'm fine with that. And yeah, if I can, I'll crack on. So a little bit about the agenda. I'm just going to quickly go through it if I can. A little bit about myself, a bit of a background, a bit about me and our company also, ThinPrint. We'll cover off the Ezeep storyline also, and then we'll focus on the architecture and what is involved to print in WVD and a couple of the challenges with Windows Virtual Desktop and how we can alleviate those with Ezeep Blue. Then I'll cover off the Ezeep Hub for serverless offices printing. We'll have a quick demo, and then we'll end with some upcoming features and a little bit of pricing. So a little bit about myself. I'm 43 years of age. I've been in IT now for 25 years. Started back in 1997, working for a major bank in Manchester, United Kingdom. Started off as we all probably did once upon a time in the help desk. Then I progressed into a bit of second line support and third line support eventually. I've got a very mixed skill set, which I think has helped me progress through the years, starting off with software, moving into a little bit of hardware at the beginning, like what we all probably did back in the 1990s and 2000, building laptops and things, just basic stuff. And then I progressed onto server builds, racking servers, understanding blade chassis and blade technology, and then eventually moving into hypervisor builds, mainly Hyper-V, VMware, and a little bit of Zen server at some point, if anyone's familiar with the Citrix hypervisor back in the day. And then in 2008, I moved on to some project delivery analyst, primarily virtualization projects such as Citrix, VMware environments, RDS environments, nice terminal server virtualization projects, a mixture of VDI and published server and applications. And then 2013 moved to ThinPrint as a consultant, and that was a great opportunity for me as I really got my teeth into architectural design, helping customers understand the best return on their investments, and really doing a little bit of account management. So that's a little bit of a background about myself. Away from my desk, I have a phenomenal family, four children, an amazing, inspiring woman who is actually an intensive care nurse working on the front line in this pandemic. So she really puts everything into perspective for me when I feel like I'm having a pretty bad day. She puts things into perspective for me. In my spare time, I manage a football team, and under 18s currently they are now. It's now my 10th year of volunteering my time to manage a football team. Something that I'm really proud of and something that I've really enjoyed. So this is something I do away from my desk also. And I'm very big, passionate gentleman about charity work, especially motor neurone disease. I'm currently running for charity all over the UK, doing 7 months of 77 kilometers each month. So in the UK, when I do my presentations, I often say to the audience, if you see me out and about, beep your horns and say hello. It'd be great. And MVP, yeah, finally back to work business. I'm just starting that journey. I'm under no illusions of how difficult this is, so I applaud any MVPs who are on this call today for their achievements, as I know it's not an easy thing. And I welcome any tips as well. If you can see I blog often as I can on scottseddon.com. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn. So any tips I welcome for sure. So enough about me. Back to our ThinPrint company. So one of the first things I'd like to talk about is you may hear ThinPrint, you may hear Ezeep when you go to shows such as Microsoft Ignite and VMworld, Citrix Synergy, etc. You'll see Ezeep blue stands, you might see orange ThinPrint stands. I'm often at these stands globally across the world. So this is the first thing I want to clear up. Ezeep Blue, the product that we're going to talk about today, is our cloud printing solution. ThinPrint is the company name, and it bears the name of our flagship on-premise print solution, which is called ThinPrint Engine. ThinPrint Engine is now 21 years old. We've been the market leaders for on-premise product called ThinPrint Engine, which is really adapted and suited for the traditional RDS environments, server-based computing on-premise, such as Citrix and Horizon View RDS, etc. We own numerous print patents at ThinPrint, something that we're very proud of. And as I mentioned before, we have headquarters across the globe. Our HQ is actually in Berlin, Germany. And we have a promise. Our promise is really simple, actually. We promise to fully master all printing challenges for you now and also in the future. So a little bit about Ezeep. So Ezeep is the cloud print solution that we're going to discuss in detail today, and I'm going to show you a demo on for WVD, Windows Virtual Desktop Printing. So we purchased this back in 2015, which was basically, the product was a simple co-working space printer product, a bit of printer redirection, things that we've seen, not really much fuss, but it had tons of potential. It was the perfect fit for our vision, it was, and for us to develop into the product that it is today. We also like the name Ezeep. Ezeep, we play on the easy printing because our name is our mission. We're trying to make printing as simple as possible as it can be for Windows Virtual Desktop. For those people who've attempted printing in WVD, it may appear a simple thing to do, but you'll come across many challenges, which we'll discuss in a bit more detail later on. Since 2015, we developed Ezeep into a complete enterprise cloud print solution that it is today. And we found it very easy to move them 21 years of experience from our on-premise ThinPrint engine into the cloud, which is where we have our Ezeep platform now. And this is where Ezeep for EFA was actually born. So EFA stands for Ezeep for Azure. So we built this environment out way back in 2000 and, well, in preparation for the 2018-19 announcement at WVD launch. So in 2018, we built a partnership up with Microsoft. Microsoft approached us and spoke to us about building a cloud platform print solution for Windows Virtual Desktop, nicely in time for the WVD launch date, which was back in Amsterdam. So in 2019 at Microsoft Ignite, I was very privileged to actually attend the Amsterdam launch where WVD was actually announced. And it was also a very proud moment for our company because we've been working under NDA with Microsoft, building a Windows Virtual Desktop print solution with them. And our partnership was a great success where we were able to demonstrate as part of the launch as a strategic partner for Microsoft, a print solution for WVD. So it was a very proud moment back in March 2019. And then we didn't stop developing back in 2019, of course we never. So in 2020, Ezeep Blue was born, and this is our latest cloud print solution. So this is what we call printing as a service. So at ThinPrint, what we've tried to do is we've successfully done. We've moved the whole entire printing process to the cloud for Windows Virtual Desktop. So no organizations no longer have to worry about the print drivers, installing print drivers on devices. We take care of the print drivers ourselves. We have our own print driver pool, again in the cloud. We've even moved the print rendering process as well. So we no longer render the print data on your devices or on print servers. We've taken that whole print rendering process and moved that also to the cloud. Reporting and operating systems and end user devices as well. You no longer have to worry about any of this because we've made our product available for multiple end user devices, Android, iOS devices, Mac OS, Windows platforms. We've really moved everything into the cloud for you, as well as the reporting. So from a user perspective, I have a very basic diagram here. On the left hand side, you can see the end users where they will send the print documents from. We have the centerpiece, which is the cloud, where we have the authentication layer and security. This is where the rendering and the drivers reside. And on the right hand side is the print job. But we know it's not as simple as that, where we just send the print job to the cloud, but the print job ends up on the actual printer. We as administrators, we understand the complexity of being able to do that, but the actual customer just wants to press print in a WVD session and they want to be able to go and receive their print. So questions do need answers. All those questions that really jump to the forefront, and the problems is, I've listed quite a few of them here, like who maps my printer to me, who creates my printer queue, who assigns the correct printer driver to that print queue, who hosts the print driver pool, where and who and where does the rendering of the print data take place, and how is that print data sent back to me when there's actually no site-to-site VPN, if I'm just using a HTTPS WebSocket protocol. How can I get that print data outbound and inbound back to me? Who encrypts my print data? Who's also considering high availability? Who cares for what device I'm using, and who cares what operating system I'm using? Well, the answer is Ezeep Blue. We care massively about this, and we take care of all those questions and many more that hopefully you will ask me when we go into the demo. So in a nutshell, how Ezeep works is, in the very center, Ezeep Blue, we have a dashboard which is accessible from your browser. As long as you've got outbound internet access, you can log on to ezeep.com and you can log into your dashboard, and you can manage everything from the dashboard. It's the dashboard that I will be demonstrating today, showing you quite a lot of functionality within that dashboard. On the left hand side, You can see that in the WVD session. So on your WVD images, we have an Ezeep print app. This really feeds your user identity from your Windows Virtual Desktop image session into the cloud. So we actually we know who is printing or who's attempting to print from that WVD session. So we have the user identity. And then below on the bottom layer, we have something that's called the connector. Now the connector can be installed. We have many flavors of the connector. We have a connector which can be installed as software on a central print server, or we have a connector that can be installed just for someone at home, for example, who's trying to print from their laptop and they just want their USB attached printer to map into the WVD session. We can install a connector also on their laptop as well. The actual Ezeep connector, the role of the connector is that it's responsible for registering printers upstream to the cloud, and actually then the dashboard, the Ezeep Blue central dashboard that you've logged onto, can then read all them printers, and we can then start using printer mappings. But without the connector, we're not able to register the printers to the cloud. So the main role of the Ezeep connector is to register the printers to the Ezeep cloud, and then the second role is the responsibility for when the print data is sent from the cloud, from the rendering service. It has to decrypt and decompress the print data that's actually been sent from the cloud. All connections are inbound only to the Ezeep cloud as well, so there's no connection to the print app or connectors are required, just outbound. And the only protocol, I did touch on it just a moment ago, that we're using end to end is WebSockets, like HTTPS, TLS encrypted WebSockets. That's the only protocol that we're using. So you got internet access, then we're good to go. Ezeep Hub, I spoke on the agenda, I'd mentioned about the Ezeep Hub. So the Ezeep Hub is one of those connectors. So the Ezeep Hub is, we plug the Ezeep Hub into your remote office. It acts as a local print server. It will automatically detect printers in your subnet for that particular remote site. There's no limit on how many printers can actually be registered into the Ezeep Hub. And then the Ezeep Hub will then connect to the cloud, as I described earlier, and it will register all those printers into the cloud for you. It's a micro appliance with one Ethernet cable, and it has also 4 USB printers on it as well. So not only can it act as a network, printers can be registered to it, you can physically attach up to 4 USB printers as well. And a little bit of pricing there. We can have this on a rental, €8.90 rental per month for this device. I will show you this in my demonstration in any moment now. So that was just a little bit of the PowerPoint. I don't like to go over too much with the PowerPoint and kill things. So does anyone have any questions about that just before we jump into the demo? Okay.
Yeah, no questions so far, Scott. Yeah, please carry on.
Okay. I'll just change what I'm sharing one moment. Okay, hopefully you may see my screen now.
Yes, we can see a dashboard now. Exactly.
Okay, cool. So this is the central dashboard. This is the go-to place for your administrators. This is where you will log on at the very beginning. So you go to ezeep.com and you'll go to a log-on screen. I can actually show you that here. So this is ezeep.com. You'll go into log on. or sign up. Now, if you're trying to sign up, I just close that off. If you're starting from the very beginning, you'll sign up for Ezeep Blue, and you'll register using your Azure Active Directory credentials. But if you're already established, you'll log into Ezeep Blue. When you log on to Ezeep Blue, you'll be presented with a quick start dashboard screen here. This is essentially from that screen that I showed you earlier, the high level diagram. These are the three components that we spoke about: the Ezeep connector on the left hand side, the dashboard where we are today, where we are looking now, and then the Ezeep print app. Now, I mentioned we're going to focus this on Windows Virtual Desktop, of course, but it's also important to understand that Ezeep Blue isn't just a fit for WVD as well. When we go to get the print app, you can see there's the Microsoft Windows print app. This is the, if I click on there, I will download the executable for the print app agent that we would install on the Windows Virtual Desktop image. However, we have an Apple iOS, we have Mac, we also have a Chrome extension for Google Chromebooks, and we also have an Android app as well. So that essentially means that all these printers and all these configurations and printer mappings that we create in a moment within this demo will actually also be available not only for your WVD users, but any users with those same identities connecting from your handheld devices as well. So it's really demonstrating the power of the product. We had a very good head start speaking to Microsoft back in 2018. So we've built the product out to be a perfect fit for WVD, but of course we've carried on building on that and made it the full solution that it is today. The connector, I mentioned what the connector was also, very similar to the print app. It doesn't just come in one flavor. We also have a connector where you can install on your Mac OS. We have a connector where you can install it on your Windows laptop to enable local printing. And we also have a connector also for your print servers as well, which runs as software. So this again, if I click on download, it'll just download into the bottom left hand corner a Ezeep connector for print server, and we would just install that on your Windows print server as well. And once we've got the connectors installed and we've got the print apps installed, we have all the user identity in the dashboard, which is where we are today. And then we also have all the printer information. So once we've got the printer information and we've got the user identity information available within our organization, which is the cloud here today, we can then start creating printer mappings, which is the part of the demo I really want to go and show you next. Is there any questions on the architecture? Anyone got any questions at this point? I think it's a good time to ask any questions. If you, hopefully, the whole idea of it is to really simplify it, like, play on that easy printing. Easy printing is really, we're trying to make it as simple as possible. There's a connector which is registers your printers, and then there's just a print app which is used for the identity piece, which is on your WVD session. Okay, so because we've spoke about the Ezeep connector and we've spoken about the actual hub, if I click on the Ezeep hub, it'll take me to a website and it'll actually show you the Ezeep hub. Now I have an Ezeep hub installed actually here already. So in my remote office where I'm sat today, I have an Ezeep hub plugged into my switch. This is the logon screen that it'll look like when you go to log on. So if I just pop in my password, and you can see this is, it's again very simple. There's not much really on the left hand side for us to actually be going through. But the main part of the Ezeep hub is, I'll go to the network side of it actually. When you plug the device in, it'll pick up a DHCP address. I've just set a static address here. I give it a name, Ezeep hub, and then once I've actually give it the network static IP address and give it a name, I then just connect it to the cloud. So again, using your Active Directory administration user account, you log on to you authenticate to our organization with a username and password. Once you authenticate and log on, it will then register this actual Ezeep hub into the cloud. So if I just quickly jump back to my cloud, we have on the left hand side really 1, 2. These are the 2 main tabs that I'll be going into today. Users and groups is self-explanatory. This is where we're going to have our users and groups identity for targeting printers to users and groups. And then here we have the network printers. So I click network printers. You can see we have a printers tab, a connectors tab, and a settings tab. Now, the printers tab will list all the printers that are available to me, to me as an administrator to actually set printer mappings. If I click on the connectors, it's going to list all the connectors that are visible in this organization to me also to be able to do printer mappings. So if I click on connectors, you can see that the Ezeep hub Scott's office is visible. This is, if I just go to here, this is this particular hub that we have here. So this hub is now available to my organization. If I go to the right hand side and say show connected printers, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3 printers on this particular connector. If I go back to this connector here and go to printers, these are the printers that are available. You can see these 3 printers. I can add as many printers in as I want, but I will just add 1 printer in just to show you. So this is going to be a Xerox dummy printer. You're going to be using the Xerox GPD global print driver. The IP address is a dummy IP address, doesn't exist. Now I'm going to press save. So once I save that actual printer information, I now have 4 printers in my Ezeep hub. So if I click back to my cloud and I go to my connectors, I go to Ezeep hub, show connectors, you can see that my Xerox dummy printer is now available to me. And one thing I will show you, actually, you're going to just jump back, is I gave that an IP address here. So this is the IP address which is in my LAN. The only actual real printer I have in my LAN is this one here, which is the 192.168.0.8. So if I just quickly show you that, so you can really get a feel for what we're doing. You can see this is my HP printer, which is actually sat next to me in my office right now. So when we send the print job from the WVD session to the central cloud, the cloud now actually knows about where it's sending the print data to. So it sends the print data to the actual Ezeep connector, which is the hub in this case. And because the hub is already identified with the actual IP address, it'll then send the print data to the actual printed device as well. And I'll show you that in the demo in a moment. So this is how the Ezeep connector is actually registering the actual Ezeep printers to the actual Ezeep cloud. Now, the Ezeep hub, if you have a little step back and think, well, where can I really use this Ezeep hub and see the benefits of the Ezeep hub? Well, what we're seeing traditionally in the UK, and I don't know whether it's a global movement and tradition, is, of course, the more we're moving to the cloud, the more people are moving to like serverless environments. They're really trying to move and push everything into the cloud. Now, of course, when we print, even way back in the 1990s, printing's really stayed quite similar. We still need a print driver. We still need a print queue created somewhere. So the first thing that will happen when you plug a printer into a Windows 10 laptop is it'll ask where the driver is. It'll see it as a new device and it'll install the driver. Now, that still happens today, and it was happening 30 years ago. So we need the driver, which is why we take care of everything in the cloud. But when we start looking at servers and trying to decommission servers, often if it's a print server or it's acting as a file server and a print server, the question always pops up, well, what are we going to do about the print queues? We can't simply just decommission this print server without having the print queues in the cloud. If we have the print queues in the cloud, where are the drivers going to exist? Well, that's what we take care of, but we use the Ezeep hub to replace the actual hardware of that print server. I had a customer, a very large, I can't say obviously for security reasons, but a very large insurance company that I was working on very recently in the United Kingdom. In fact, I can talk about it because we've got it on our website now as a case study. So if you go to our thinprint.com website, you'll see it now. Actually, it was a company called Hastings. Now Hastings Insurance, they put our Ezeep hubs into their environment and replaced the actual print servers in their data centers, and the return on their investment over the 2 months only that they had the hubs in place and the full solution completely paid for the solution just on electricity savings alone. So, you know, if you're thinking eco and thinking green environments as well, it's something that also we're very proud of, by using a hub in your environment. So that's it. That's the hub really. Try to I won't go on about the hub too much more now because there's other things to talk about. But yeah, you can really see the power of the actual Ezeep hub as a connector. Of course, we don't just force an Ezeep hub on customers. Of course, we give the option to install the software on a print server, and you can register your print queues to make them cloud-enabled print queues to Ezeep anyway as well. So we give you both options, but of course we see a real strong movement towards the Ezeep hub right now. So once we've got our printers registered in the cloud, how do we actually map the printers to the users? So again, that's from the dashboard. The easiest way to do that is going into the users tab. Now I have a user which I'm going to be using my demo for today, which is my Azure account, which is Scott. So if I click on, actually I'll go to groups. In preparation for this session today, I've created a group called Scott's Office. You can also see that I've got a lot of Azure groups that have been pulled through to the organization. So if I just click back, I mean, everyone on the call will be familiar with this screen. If I go to my Azure portal and I go to groups, you can see in my portal, these are all my actual groups that I have access to in my Azure Active Directory. So if I jump back to my Ezeep hub, it's pulled through these actual groups for me as part of the registration process to Ezeep. So I can use my Azure Active Directory groups, or I can actually create local groups. So I can import them from Azure, or I can add an Ezeep group. For the purpose of today's test, I added a group called Scott's Office. If I edit Scott's Office, you can see that I am a member of that group as well, both my Azure and my local account. And I've also assigned some printers to this group as well. So I've added in the HP MV printer, which is on my hub. I've also added the HP Test and the HP 123 printer. Now, if I just go done, actually, I'll add in that one as well, the one that we just created earlier. So I have now, just as quickly as that, I have created my printer mapping rule. I can also create my printer mapping rule from the network printers tab. If I go to Xerox dummy, the printer that I just done a moment ago, if I go to assignments, you can see that Scott's Office is assigned to that actual printer. I know I'm a member of Scott's Office, so I also know that I'm now going to map the Xerox dummy printer also as well. The users, is there anything else to show you about the users? All the users will be imported as well. So yeah, this is a good one. So of course the users from the Active Directory for WVD, for Azure, sorry, will be pulled into the into this view that you can see here also. But again, trying to demonstrate that we didn't just stand still and stick with just WVD. We've also added an invite option as well. So I could invite anybody here now who's on this call, add their email address, and I could invite you to my organization within Ezeep. Once I've invited you to my organization, I will see you appear here. If I just press cancel, you can see I've just used my scottseddon.com domain that I mentioned earlier, which I blog on. I've invited myself to this organization, which means using my scottseddon.com, I can actually map to printers that are available in my, which are available to my WVD world as well, with policy. So I can enforce policy on who gets what, whitelist and blacklist, of course. But it's just really showing you the flexibility of the product as well. I think that's something that I really wants to do today, and also something that I've done previously to UK user groups, and when I've been on shows as well. It's something that I really find as a real good, powerful feature of Ezeep Blue for printing.
Scott,
yeah,
just a question here on user imports. I think bulk import is also available manually if that's needed, right?
Yeah, that's true as well. Yes. Is that Zane asking me the question?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Zane. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we can. So we've come across that as well with like Google like G Suite and things like that. People were asking us, hey Scott, we don't want to be adding individual users in all the time. It's going to take a long time to do. So yeah, we have originally we didn't have that feature, but we've built that in now where we can import in bulk as well. So it's a good point, because one of the questions that we at the very early days was a bit of a turn off, but it's now no longer.
Thank you.
One thing that I also wanted to just show before I'm going to jump into a WVD session in a moment, and I'm going to show you the printers and the mappings, and just show you what it looks like, what a print queue looks like in WVD. But before I do that, I want to show you just one more little feature that we have as well, which is the self-service user portal. So on the left hand side, so this view that we're looking at the moment, I access by clicking log into Blue, and went into log into Ezeep Blue now. Now I've logged in as an administrator, so I get to see everything. I have the quick start on the left. I get to see as an administrator. The users and groups I get to see as an administrator. The network printers I get to see as an administrator, and policies I get to see as an administrator as well. In a non-administration view, I don't see any of the top four that I've just mentioned. I only see my printers, and I only see apps and downloads, these two here. The reason for that is, of course, we don't want users to be going in and assigning print queues to other people. Of course we don't, it's an administration task. So if I'm just a normal standard user, so if I was to log in as my mail@scottseddon.com, just a standard user, not admin, I would only see the printers that the administrator has actually applied to me. Now I have the ability as a user to tick these boxes or see these boxes that have been assigned to me, and untick them as a user. So I could say, well, actually, Zane has applied mapped 4 print queues to me. However, I only want 3 of them, so I could tick these 3. but I'm not in that view at the moment, so I can't just like tick them or untick them. So that actually gives me it gives the user a little bit of control. It allows them to feel like they are in control, but really we've actually forced that actual mappings onto them. The other option that they have is the apps and downloads. So this is all this is actually doing is saying, well, if you haven't got the print app for your desktop, then you can download it. If you haven't got the Google Chrome extension, then you can download it. And if you haven't got the connectors, then we'll give you the option to download them. So it's just giving them the software as well. Now in WVD, we don't need that, of course, because in a WVD session, we've already installed the image and prepared the image. And we have the print apps installed already there as well. So that wouldn't be the case. But this is just giving the user access to the organization, but giving them a limited view. So they can just see what they've been assigned, and then they can actually download the software if required. The other little bit about my printers, which I do think is a very cool feature, and it's something that I've enabled for my demo that I'm going to show you in a moment, is we also have self-service portal. Now the self-service portal is an actual, I've enabled it for the demo. So if you go to network printers, go to settings, we have a self-service portal. Now this is an actual user interface that is installed as part of the Ezeep print app, which is here, which is what you install on your WVD image. So this is as part of the agent. We have the user, if I just click back, self-service portal. It's like a UI, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Now what this does is this says actually, when you open the UI, it'll show you all the actual printers that the user has, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it doesn't actually map them into the session. It just allows the actual user to say, well, I can see that there's now 4 printers in session available to me, but I'm, for the purpose of this actual log on, this session that I have open right now, I'm only going to map the HP test print queue, because I don't need the rest for the purpose of what I'm doing today. And it really again gives the end user a little bit of authority, where they feel like they're in control, but deep down in the background we know that we're in control. So if I just go onto my WVD session, so this is my WVD session that I've logged onto. If I go into printer self-service, which is what I've just described, you'll be able to see here now that it'll do a refresh and it'll open up. This is the UI that I was describing, and this will show me that the printers that I have in my session available to me. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll open up. I'll just open up Notepad. You can see that I've got the HP test printer queues. These are the printers that are available to me. If I go to add printers, you can see that Xerox dummy printer is now available to me. So if I select the Xerox dummy printer and press apply, then that's now going to pull the Xerox dummy printer into the session as well. Now we know from my test account that the Xerox dummy is enabled for me. If that was disabled, then in session, when I opened up my user self-service portal, this dummy printer would not be actually available for me to add, or sorry, to map into my WVD session. So if I go to, I don't know, I'm just going to go and go print, you can see that I've got my printers here now as well. So if I select my, we know the dummy printer from, if I just jump back to my hub, we know it's actually going to hit my Ezeep connector, but we know this IP address doesn't ping, doesn't exist. But if it did, obviously we would have the output. So if I just click print, the print job now is being sent up to the cloud. The cloud has received the print job. It's now rendering the print job, and it's sent the print job back outbound to the Ezeep hub or the Ezeep connector, but it is the hub in this example. The Ezeep hub has received the print job and it's sent it to the actual printed device, which is in my office, nice and efficiently. You've noticed that here, the Xerox, there'll be no Xerox print drivers in my environment, no HP print drivers in my environment. The actual print queue, actually that's something that is important to show you. If I go to advanced, you can see it's using ThinPrint output gateway driver. So this is a Xerox print driver, sorry, a Xerox print queue using a ThinPrint output gateway driver. So the ThinPrint output gateway driver is our virtual print driver. So this is the actual giving you a driver-free print solution as well in your WVD environment. So traditionally, everyone, I hope, has come across print spooler crashes, print driver DLL conflicts. Well, we get away from all that with using our ThinPrint single output gateway driver. The output gateway driver is installed again as part of the Ezeep print app that you've installed on your Windows virtual desktop. So everything is installed on the Windows virtual desktop, everything that's required, and the drivers are here. So if I select on here and go to printer preferences, it'll actually give me a view of the driver. Yeah, here we go. So this is my ThinPrint, because obviously in the session here, I can't show you the printing defaults, so I'll show you it through my printer self-service. So all the features, all the finishing features from that Xerox print driver that we have hosted in our cloud, we pull into the we pull it into the driver, the virtual ThinPrint driver on the Windows virtual desktop queue. So we have if we had like give me an example, duplex, stapling, we could pull all them finishing features into the actual virtual print driver here. But for an administrator, again, just think about what you're getting out of the solution. You're not having to create print queues, you're not having to create printer defaults, you're not having to manage multiple drivers. Everything we're taking care for you in the cloud. All you require is to install the Ezeep print app on your WVD session and have your Ezeep connector in whatever flavor, either software on a Windows server or on a Mac, or actually the actual Ezeep hub. And it really is that simple. That is, I've took my time on purpose to show you how mapping works, and I've took my time trying to show you how the roles of the connectors and how the printer mapping works and how we pull users and printers together. I've purposely took my time doing that, but if you can imagine how easy it would be to very quickly just get a Ezeep hub out in the environment, add a print queue to it here, connect it to the cloud by authenticating, going to the cloud, seeing your new connector that's arrived, selecting on the new connector, show the connected printers, click on the printer, go to assignments, add it to one of the groups from Active Directory. I'll pick on accountant, add groups, and then that's it, done. Anyone who's a member of accounting will now get that new print queue, which has come from the new Ezeep hub, which is in your brand new site. It really is that simple, which is why, of course, in my slides when I said easy printing, Ezeep, we like the name because we're confident that it's a very easy print solution for WVD. Any questions on that? I've just got just a few more slides, not many more slides to actually show you. But if I can just jump back to my slides, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. So Scott, I suppose people might be wondering what would be the use case of of Ezeep Blue as opposed to traditional printing. Well, of course, one of them I see use case would be complete outsourcing of everything to the cloud, so moving everything to the cloud, and especially now, if your offices are removing all the infrastructure, then this would definitely be something you can rely on. Any other use cases, Scott, that you could see here for EasyBlue?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, some people want to really print in like a hybrid solution as well, like not a traditional true cloud print solution. We get a lot of hybrid use cases as well, where the printers that actually already exist for, let's say, a Citrix environment. Why not pull those print queues actually into the Ezeep cloud as well? So you might have Ezeep hubs that you're building brand new, but you might also want to make the transition from the migration from the old environment to the new environment really seamless. So why not pull all your print queues into the Ezeep cloud, and then from a WVD session, now you're not connecting to a Citrix environment. You've still suddenly got all your all your old traditional Citrix print queues that you're used to seeing, but now they're, instead of being available in a Zen desktop VDI or being available to you in a Zen app published app or an app V published app in a Citrix session, they're actually available in your WVD session now, but those print queues are there, so you haven't had to go and recreate all those print queues. All you've done is you've literally just installed the Ezeep connector on top of your print server and registered them into the cloud, and then very easily from the actual dashboard, you've been able to map those printers to the actual users for a WVD session. So we see it a lot for like migration purposes. We see it when people actually just want to keep it in a hybrid model. They want a little mixture of on-premise and a little bit of traditional cloud print solution as well. We see that a lot. The other thing is as well is, I mentioned at the very beginning of the demonstration, we've been doing this for 21 years now. So with our on-premise print solution, so we can also pull in on ThinPrint engine print queues into the dashboard as well. We can scan those actual hubs into the dashboard as well. So there's a whole lot of things that we can do. We're not just, again, I think I mentioned it at the beginning, we're not just strictly WVD. I could tailor this whole presentation just around WVD, but I wanted to make sure that you could understand that, I'm remotely working from one of the Microsoft Ignite tours in Sydney, and I want to print from my Android device to a print server or a printer hub, or which is in the office, or even indeed at home. I want to be able to print to my printer that's actually at home. I want to send my wife a picture of like me at the show, like with someone famous. I can do it straight away. It's as easy as that. I'm very proud of ThinPrint and EasyBlue, of what we've achieved with the product and how it's evolved. In 2015, as I mentioned, the potential of Ezeep in a co-working space was incredibly powerful. But yeah, I can't take credit for that. The hierarchy identified the power of the product, and particularly ThinPrint, our vision of where we were going, and what it is today is not only the complete WVD print solution, but it's a complete print solution which goes right back to the the ThinPrint promise that I shared with everyone, and that was, it's today, now, and in the future, all printing. We promise to have a solution for you.
Yeah, Scott, thank you for that. So we have another question here from Dirk in our chat here. So he's asking, can you integrate with tools like PaperCard for secure print release or printing policies? Well, it's essentially a question about secure print release, so which is
I think that leads me on nicely. I think maybe it sounds like he might have had access to my slides. joke, but yeah, yeah, for sure. What I wanted to actually just show you then is upcoming features. So you can see there hidden in, well, not hidden in Q2. Q2 is now. We're actually building a secure follow me print solution. Now we hope to have that out by the beginning of Q3. Again, rolling back to the 21 years, we actually have all the technology. We have an on-prem print follow me print solution called ThinPrint personal printing. So very similar to the ThinPrint engine. We have all the technology, all the development and knowledge already, and we're just pulling that into the actual cloud. So it's something that we find very easy to do, fortunately, because of the background. So yeah, as we speak, actually, so the gentleman who asked the question, it was very good timing. We're pulling in the follow me printing, like we've released with RFID cards, very similar to as you discussed with Papercut. We have that all in one solution, which will be here at the end of Q2. So yeah, that's on working at the moment. Something May 2021, hub remote management. So when I showed you the dashboard, and I showed you in the dashboard there was a Ezeep hub Scott's office, it was called. Just on the right hand side of the actual description or the host name of the actual hub, we're building well, it's in beta now actually. I don't know whether you know about this, Zane, but we have a link to a web interface. So what is actually we're doing in the background is part of the hub registration. When we connect it to the cloud, we're actually connecting it to a gateway. And the gateway is built, the address of the gateway is built into the firmware of the actual Ezeep hub. So what we can do from the dashboard is the dashboard is connected to the gateway as well. So the hub becomes unclaimed the minute you plug it into the remote site. And we can, from the dashboard, we can open up the web interface and we can claim the hub and pull the hub into our organization, our central Ezeep dashboard. The administrator can do that. So that's a really, really wicked feature as well. So it's basically being able to remote manage all your hubs from the dashboard as well. So that's something that's coming in the next 2 weeks. We're going to actually, I've mentioned the next 2 weeks, but I was playing around with this only yesterday. So it is there. We're just waiting for a little bit of QA before we can sign it off, and yeah, that's going to be available as well to current users. And then in Q3 we're going to start working on an Ezeep hub for home. So when I mentioned about the connectors types, and I showed you the variations of the Ezeep connector, well, we can actually stick a Ezeep hub now, or we will be able to, sorry, in Q3, actually in your office as well. And that really then enables you not to have your laptop powered on with the software running as a service, registering the print queues to the actual cloud. What we're going to actually now is give you an Ezeep hub for home, which will actually be able to then be connected directly outbound with internet access to the actual Ezeep cloud, which enables basically all your printers to be Ezeep cloud printers. Now, if you think about where that'll come in very helpful, another use case is I have a very, very inexpensive printer in my office. I think about 45 euros. Now, it's not a cloud-enabled printer. It never can be a cloud-enabled printer. It has no internet outbound access. But with an Ezeep Home hub, I can make that and any other printer in my remote office a enabled printer for the cloud. So that's coming in Q3. And then finally, people may have come across universal printing by Microsoft. Well, we also have a universal print connector by Ezeep, which is again the Ezeep hub. That is again specifically built for the Microsoft Universal Print solution, and we can then register all our printers in your remote offices up to the Microsoft Universal Print dashboard and enable all them printers to be Microsoft Universal printers. Automatic printer detection, of course. We can detect printers on this device from your subnet in one click. So if you have hundreds of printers in your remote office, we can enable them and make them all Microsoft Universal printers and then present them to the Universal Print dashboard. And then there's a further option to upgrade from the Microsoft Universal Print to the Ezeep Blue platform as well. Last couple of slides, how to get started. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You go onto ezeep.com/WVD, register your Azure marketplace. You create your organization, and then you'll be able to log on to the dashboard that I've used a demo for today. The second part is install your connectors and read those current printers into the Ezeep cloud via your connectors. And then the assignment part, which is what I showed you in the demo, from your Ezeep Cloud Console, assign printers to users or user groups. It really is that easy, 1, 2, 3. A little tiny bit about pricing. Pricing can be found from the Azure marketplace. Starting off, it depends on volume. So starting off at $2.99 US per user per month, and then the larger the volume, the lower the actual user price cost. So it'll come down to $2.49, $2.15 per user per month. And again, thank you for your time today. I hope you found it very useful. If you do need anything from me in the future, please reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter, Scott Seddon 96, LinkedIn. Please link in with me. I'll link in with you good selves as well. And finally, any helpful pointers that anyone may have, if there's any MVPs on here, please reach out to me. I'd be much appreciated. I really would like that. So thank you. So yeah, I just thought I'd end on that. Printing in WVD. In the UK, we have a little saying, easy peasy.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much for your presentation today. Really appreciate it.
No worries, hopefully on time, 1 hour.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So we have a open floor discussion now. So if anyone is keen, we can turn cameras on, sound as well. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, or anything else you would like to bring up, feel free to ask. So yeah, we had a pretty good, yeah, nice to see you face to face now, Scott. Yeah.
Hi, Zane.
So yeah, no, that was excellent. That was great. So it was really awesome demo, and use cases are fairly clear as well. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, we can have other discussions here as well if any other questions coming up. So yeah, we had Microsoft guys helping us today as well, Royal. So I thank you, Royal, as well for your contribution today and supporting the group. And thank you to Philip also for For the news part, Phillips, was also very nice for your input there as well. Yeah, all right. So yeah, Philip, you're with us, or I'm not sure if you can talk.
I'm here, Zane. Always pleasure. Yeah, you know, that contributing to the group is always a pleasure. And the more discussions we have, the more questions we kind of go through and share experience. I think the more important the value that this group brings to all of us.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we've got so many, quite a few partners coming up here. So WVD, you know, implementation partners who actually working on deployments. And we've got, yeah, I suppose the distributors like yourself, Philip, and we've got Microsoft coming here as well to support the community, which is awesome, which is great. So it's a very nice mix we're having here with you know, with vendor, Microsoft, and technical staff from, you know, implementation side, with all the real live questions and scenarios to cover off in WVD. So this is great to see. All right, so well, on that note, if there are no more further questions, we might as well wrap up. So I'll thank you again, guys, everyone, presenters, and I thank the members, the audience as well, who are supporting us today. Thank you so much for coming, and we will hopefully see you next time in May. We've got RSA presentation coming up as well. Well, it's on our Meetup website, so check it out. All right, thank you, guys. You enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Much appreciated. Thank you.